Hello, welcome District 206 families. Thank you for joining us for this online cooking event with Chef Matthew Jensen from La Ferme. I'm Janine Peterson, registered dietitian with District 206.
And I'm Paulette Noel, the Supervisor of Food and Nutrition with District 206. And as Janine mentioned, we're here today to do a quick online cooking event with Alexandria's own Chef Matthew Jensen to help us celebrate the Every Kid Healthy Week using some of the items that your students brought home with them this week. Janine.
So, yes.
Every Kid Healthy Week, what is it?
It is a week to celebrate the health and wellness initiatives of the district for our students and our staff. Studies clearly show good nutrition promotes learning with our students. So that's what Chef Matthew is going to do today, is help us how to create healthy treats, be healthy, so we can learn more, right?
Absolutely, because what's more important than being healthy?
Exactly.
So, without any further ado, we're going to turn it over to Chef Matthew, and he's going to show us some really fun, creative ways to use those ingredients.
All right.
Here we go. We're going to have fun with food. That's the big thing. Play with your food. I love playing with food. In my restaurant, that's in my kitchen. Every day is just a game. So we're going to do a couple things. We're going to start off with some breakfast items first. First thing that I want to do, this is called soaked oats. This is one of my absolute favorites. It's super easy to do. Any kind of oatmeal that you have, you'll be getting some packets, I believe. So this one's the apple cinnamon. I'm just going to take part of the package because I want to make this look a little pretty. And we're just going to kind of make one level bit just like that. And then I want to put some strawberries in here. Now, you don't have to do strawberries if you don't like strawberries. You can use any fruit that you want, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, and then it doesn't have to be fresh fruit either. I like to use frozen fruit, so when they're in season, like peaches, I'll buy peaches from the grocery store and then just slice them up raw and put them into the freezer. And so then all year long I've got awesome fresh peaches. So, just kind of a rough chop for the strawberries. We're just going to kind of layer that in here as well. Other fun things that you can do if you have them, a little bit of some chopped nuts, some pecans, any kind of seeds that you have. If you have sunflower seeds, I like to put flax seeds and chia seeds in there. A little bit of flax will be great right there. If you're into it, you can put chocolate. White chocolate would be really tasty in there. So the other thing, just keep kind of layering them up. Add a few more strawberries to this. And then I'm going to do just a little bit more nuts. And then milk. So you can use regular milk. If you have soy milk, almond milk, coconut milk, any of those works. You're just going to add a little bit of milk kind of slowly, just enough to cover those oats. Just a little bit more. And then let that go. So what we do is take a little bit of plastic wrap, or if you're making them in a mason jar like this and you have the lids, you can just screw the lid on tight. And then this goes into your refrigerator, sit it overnight. By the time you wake up in the morning, you're going to have a really tasty breakfast. From there, then you can also add, a few more fresh berries into it right before you eat it. I would recommend definitely mixing and matching whatever you have in the house. Another thing that we like to use, if I don't have any fresh fruit or frozen fruit, which isn't very often, but anything that's dried, so dried raspberries, dried cranberries, dried strawberries, banana chips are also very tasty in there. So, whatever it is that you have that sounds good to you, have fun with your food. That's a big thing. Next thing that we want to do, another breakfast item, let's make a smoothie. So any kind of blender that you have will work. You also don't have to have a blender. If you don't have a blender, you're going to do a lot of chopping with your knives. But I'm going to do a little bit of strawberries in there again. We're We're going to do a little bit of mixed fruit on this one. Got some blackberries here. Some blueberries. Again, this is another thing, you don't have to be using fresh fruit. If you do have only frozen fruit at home, doesn't matter, because I do that sometimes. One thing that I also like to do, a little bit of banana in there as well. That peeled up. So the one thing you want to be aware of when you're making your smoothies at home, smaller chunks is better. It's easier on your blender, and things are going to blend up a little bit quicker. So again, from here, kind of the same thing with the soaked oats. Everything and anything goes. So I like to put a little bit of nuts in here for some protein. A little bit of flaxseed again as well. And then another protein component, yogurt. We're just going to add all of that in there. Now, depending on if you like things a little bit thicker or runny, this is where you've got to kind of play around. You've got juice. So either adding a little bit of water, you can add a little bit of milk to this as well if you want to thin it out. I'm just going to put a little bit of some juice in here. Just like so. Screw lid on tight. Or this is the bottom actually. If you have more of the standard drink blender, make sure your lid is on tight. And I always tell people to make sure that your hand is over the top of it as well. Things like to splash out every now and again. Oh, that looks good. So, another thing to keep in mind when you're making this, some of these ingredients are out of the refrigerator. If you like it to be a little bit colder, you can certainly add like a small handful of some ice cubes in with that and then blend it up. Then it becomes kind of more of a Mr. Freeze or slushy of that sort. And then that's it. We've got a really good looking smoothie. This is one of my all-time favorites. When the mornings are hot, you already wake up and it's already 70 degrees out. I'd rather drink my breakfast than eat it. So, there you go. Super healthy. Next item that we're going to make, we're going to kind of move into afternoon snack or lunch. Let's make some salad kebabs. So, you'll be having in your boxes cheese sticks. You've got the sun-dried tomatoes. There will be lettuce, I believe, in there. And then you'll have ranch packets. So simple that you can do. I just like to take cherry tomatoes, wrap a little piece of lettuce around it, and then skewer that up. And then kind of alternate that. Just break off a piece of cheese, throw that onto the skewer. If you want something for just a little bit more color and fun, just take a straight tomato like that, and then maybe wrap up another one. Throw it on. The other thing you can do is take a piece of lettuce and wrap that around your cheese. Get that onto your skewer. That's pretty simple. You can fill that up all the way just like that onto a plate. Take a little bit of your ranch. Just kind of drizzle that over the top of everything. Now, to have some more fun with this, depending on what you have in your refrigerator, I love bell peppers. That's one thing I want to have on there for sure. Just a little bit of some extra color. I love the sweetness and the crunch of them. We're just going to get the seed pouch out of the middle. And then you're just going to kind of roughly chop the tomatoes. One thing, when you're using knives, make sure you're doing some safety at home. You're going to notice I don't hold on to my vegetables with my fingers outsplayed like that. When you do that, you run the risk of cutting your fingers. I always try and keep my fingers bent and keep them as close to the blade as possible. That way, if the knife slips, it's going to try and slip away from your finger versus into your fingers. Just gonna get rid of this little bit of the inside. Again, just making rough chops, depending on how big of bites you want to have. I'll go with that. So then, same thing, just alternating cherry tomatoes, maybe a little bit of bell pepper. Let's get crazy. We're gonna add some olives, the lettuce. Let's wrap that around the cheese. Skewer that on. I'm a big fan of mushrooms. I'm sure that a lot of kids might not be, but that's okay. Eventually you'll learn how to like mushrooms the older you get. And then I want some of these pea pods. They're kind of big, so I'm going to take these and just chop them in half. Throw them on. And then just kind of keep alternating. Make sure to get a little bit of that lettuce on there. It's just kind of a fun way to make sure you get your veggies. And then again, same thing. Drizzle with a little bit of ranch. If you're not a ranch fan, obviously, whatever you have in your refrigerator, some balsamic vinaigrette, some French, Caesar dressing, all is going to be really tasty. The other item that we have to talk about is our pizza sliders, Italian dunkers. When I grew up, that's what they were.
They were Italian dunkers. So kind of some of our theme going on with this Every Kid Healthy Week is to have some fun, play with your food a little bit, enjoy your food. So we actually played with our dunkers a little bit using some of our veggies. Have some fun with it. We have a contest. Look for the information coming out in your emails. If you haven't already submitted them, you can. You can win. Chef Matthew has graciously given a gift certificate to his restaurant, so you might be the lucky winner to get that one by showing us you're playing with your food. But be creative. Have some fun with the Italian dunkers that we've sent home with you. And Janine.
Right, I'll just jump in here. We also wanted to let you guys know that next year, all meals are free, breakfast and lunch, for all students again. So that's new information, fresh off the press. So just to let you know that.
Awesome.
Want to thank Chef Matthew for being here today and playing with food with us and having a little fun. And why don't you tell us all about your restaurant and where we can find you?
So I'm here in Alexandria, right downtown, 613 Broadway. And I've been there for about 8 years. My big thing is working with local farmers. I want all of these ingredients to be as fresh as possible. The other thing is I want them to not travel. I want to keep them as close as possible. So all of our product that we use is within a 35-mile radius of our back door. And menu changes a lot. Like I said, I play with my food. So every week we start a new menu, and I just get really creative. And, we put together some ingredients that are, they taste great, always. I won't serve food that doesn't taste good to people, but kind of makes you think a little bit about your food and the flavor combinations and gets you outside of the box.
I've been to your restaurant, and it is very unique combinations and different thought processes in your food. So he does play with this food, and it's always delicious. So awesome.
Thank you.
Well, again, thank you for being here, and I hope you come eat with Chef Matthew and also come eat with us at our schools. So thank you very much.